So what makes a good read aloud? Well, the easy answer is you, but that's also the hard answer. So let me walk you through a few things that I was thinking about. So when I go out shopping, I'm always looking for books. And one of the books I found recently was Looking for a Moose. So as I'm previewing this book in the store, I notice that there's a really great rhythm to the story. And I think to myself, how would that sound as I read it aloud? Have you ever seen a moose? A long leggy moose? A branchy antlered diner diving bulgy nose moose? No, we've never, ever seen a moose. And we really want to see a moose. So you can see this book already in my head. I saw, oh, this has got great rhythm and it's got a refrain that the kids can enjoy repeating. And then I look at the text. Is it going to be ready to read aloud? Is it going to be easy to read aloud? How are the pictures going to read to the group? And then I think about voices. So this would be a great place for the kids to start joining in. Let's go. We put on our hats. We pull on our boots. So then I'm thinking, what actions can they do? And then I noticed, oh, bold words. That means something fun's going to be happening. We look in the woods. Trump, stump, trump, stump. The treesy, breezy, tilty, stilty, wobbly, knobbly woods. It's got a great rhythm, doesn't it? And then the next thing I do when I think about a read aloud is, well, why am I going to read this aloud? What's the point? So sometimes it's just because it's for the fun of reading aloud, but there's always something, some extra something that you can do with a read aloud to connect it to learning. So for me, I'm thinking to myself, I can do a couple of things with this book. I notice there's a lot of onomatopoeia, so we can talk about sound words or onomatopoeia. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. There's also trump, stomp, trip, trop, trip, trop. And then the other thing I think is we're always looking for a moose, right? So we could talk about the species, we could learn about the species or the habitat, or we could go another route entirely. And this could be a book that really emphasizes the phonics of the double O sound. So there's lots of great things you can do with a read aloud, but remember, it's you. You've got to be thinking, how would this be approached? So let me pretend you're my kids' audience, and let's go right through the book. Looking for a Moose by Phyllis Root, illustrated by Randy Cecil. Do you remember what the author of the book does? What does the illustrator do? Now, when we open up a book, we pass the end papers until we see that title page where the title is in big words, and we find the author and illustrator. And usually there's a dedication in the book. This book says to librarians who always know where to find things, and for Franny, who always knows where the moose is. How fun. Have you ever seen a moose? Oh, look, there's that double O. What sound is it making? Ooh, in moose. Kind of sounds like a moose, doesn't it? Can you say that with me? Moose. A long leggy moose, a branchy antler, dinner diving, bulgy nose moose. No, we've never, ever seen a moose, and we really want to see a moose. Let's go. We put on our hats, we pull on our boots. We look in the woods, trump, stump, trump, stump. The treesy, breezy, tilty, stiltly, wobbly, probably woods. Do you see the moose anywhere? Look closely. Where could that moose be? Remember, we're looking for the moose. We look and we look, but it's just no use. We don't see any long-leggy moose. Now what? We'll look in the swamp for a dinner-diving moose. We roll up our pants. Roll up your pants. We take off our boots. Take off your boots. Are you getting ready to go in the swamp? What are you looking for? That's right, we're looking for the moose. We wade in the swamp. Squeech, squooch, squeech, squooch. The sloppy, gloppy, lily, loppy, slurpy, glurpy swans. Do you see the moose in the swamp? Hey, let's stop for a minute. Did you hear those words? Squeech, squooch. Those are special kinds of words called onomatopoeia. Can you say that with me? Onomatopoeia. Boy, that's a mouthful. Onomatopoeia words are words that make a sound. They're sound words like flop and floop and scritch and scratch and squeech and scooch. See if you can find some more onomatopoeia words as we read the story together. We'll look and we look, but it's just no use. We don't see any long-legged dinner-diving moose. Do you see the moose anywhere? Where could it be? Not in the swamp. Now what? We'll look in the bushes for a branchy antlered moose. We roll down our pants. We button up our sleeves. Get ready. Here we go. We scrape through the bushes. Scritch, scratch. Scritch, scratch. The brambly, ambly, bunchy, scrunchy, scrubby, shrubby bushes. Did you hear scritch, scratch? What kind of word is that? That's right, onomatopoeia. We look and we look, but it's just no use. We don't see any long-leggy, dinner-diving, branchy antler moose. Do you see that moose? Now what? We'll look on the hillside for the bulgy-nosed moose. We take off our hats. We tighten our packs. Are we ready to look for the moose? We scramble up the hillside. Trip, trop, trip, trop. The rocky, blocky, lumpy, bumpy, fuzzy, muzzy hillside. Do you see the moose? We look and we look, but it's just no use. We'll never, ever, ever, ever see a moose. Do you see the moose? Now what are we going to do? Arrgh! What's that? What could it be? What do you think it is? Look there! It's a long-legged, dinner-diving, branchy antler, bulgy nose moose. Look, there's another double O word. Look. How about that? And a moose, and a moose, and a moose. Look at them all. Look at all those double O's. Moose, moose. We've never, ever, ever seen so many moose. Get your mouth ready. Say that word. Moose. What's the double O make? That's right. Oh my goodness. Did you expect to find so many moose? Wasn't that fun? Hey, you know, boys and girls, I noticed something else. There's a lot of cool words in this book. Rocky, blocky, lumpy, bumpy, fuzzy, muzzy, hillside. They describe the place. Wow, we could even count the adjectives in this book. How about on this page? Long, leggy, dinner, diving, branchy, antler, moose. Those are all adjectives. And moose is the thing that they're talking about. How fun is that? Now, where did we go in our big trek to find the moose? Do you remember? What's the first place we looked? That's right, the woods. Do you remember the second place we looked? We had to go in the squeak, squooch, sloppy, gloppy swamp. And where did we look after the swamp? We went in the bushes. The brambly-ambly bushes. Did we find the moose there? No. Then we went up the lumpy, bumpy, rocky, blocky hillside to find the moose. And what did we find? That's right. The last place we looked was the rocky, blocky hillside. And we found loads of moose, didn't we? All right, boys and girls. I hope you might also find some other books by Phyllis Root, since we loved this book so much. So that's how my read aloud would usually go. And you notice at the end we go back and we take another picture walk through the book. We might do sequence, we might do beginning, middle, end. We might focus on a character or a change that happened in the story. So those are all things that you can think about as you look at a book to begin choosing what you will use for your read alouds.